Let us start the session by chanting Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahato Samha Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahato Samha Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavatu Arahato Samha Sambuddhassa. Resuming the Sanghaya Vatu as we left off last week. All right. So you can unmute your mics if you are not in a noisy environment. Which consciousnesses, what was the last consciousness that we finished last time? Did we finish all of the group rooted?
We did conceit.
We did conceit as well. Okay.
We stopped there.
What do you mean we did conceit? Was that conceit, that was then the greed rooted, yeah?
Yeah.
We didn't do the delusion, the hatred.
No, we didn't do
No, we didn't do the hatred.
Well, let's start there today. Good. So before we carry on, I hope you had time to refer back to the books and to get any sort of anything that you did not understand. I hope that you have tried to clear those subjects out. Does anyone have a question with regards to whatever that we have already done? No. Good. Moving on. So then the consciousnesses which are rooted in hate. The first consciousness being, do we remember the name of the consciousness? Sagata, Patika, Sampayutta, Asankarika, and Sasankarika. All right. So, who shall we start with? Devika?
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
So the first dosa consciousness, or the first hatred root of consciousness, Devika, what are the mental factors that arise with this consciousness?
It's the, oops, why am I getting? It's out of the akusala chittas.
So before we start, yes. Shall we, what is the page on the book with all the Chaitasikas?
79.
79. Shall we
79.
Turn to page number 79, please?
No,
not 79.
That's the Chaitasikas. Chittas are on page 20. Chaitasikas on 29.
79. 79.
79. All right, let's turn to 79.
So there's hatred.
Let's turn to 79. Please do not bother looking at the page with all the consciousnesses and the Chaitasikas, the numbers which are given, right? So all you basically have to do is actually just look at the mental factors, and we should be able to pick out what arises with these consciousnesses with just the table 2.1 on page number 79 of the book.
Yes.
All right. Shall we start, Devika?
Okay, the hatred one is like the two chittas in the akusala number. 11 and 12. The akusala,
Okay.
the hatred rooted, there are 2. That's the
first one, Devika.
That's the consciousness accompanied by displeasure associated with aversion.
Yeah.
Prompted.
Which is prompted.
Yes. And also the number 9 and 10. This is like the consciousness accompanied by displeasure, unprompted and prompted, 2 of those.
Yes.
Correct?
So now that is correct. That we already know. Tell us the Chetasikas that arise. So shall we go according to the chart?
According to the chart, in those like in the 7 universals are there for everything.
Okay.
And then hatred and envy in those 2.
Okay, Devika, we need to focus, right? Okay, first, the ethically variable, there are 13 ethically variables, right?
Yeah.
The first 7 are the universals, right?
Yes.
All the universals arise in this consciousness.
Right. That's how you want me.
Right?
Yes.
Then we go on to occasionals.
Occasionals. Okay. So there is Vitakka and Vichara.
Okay.
Or
Initial application and sustained application.
Yes.
All right.
And then there is this decision and desire.
What are you looking at?
Effect.
According to this akusala.
All right. So, okay.
That I was saying,
are you looking at page number 79?
Yes, I am.
All right. So on page number 79, okay, all of you, please look at the occasional section, right? Now, when you look at the occasionals, right, we know what happens with this consciousness. It is a action of hate, right?
Correct.
An action of hate, which is here a thought of hate.
Yes.
Right? You hate a person, you know, whether it's prompted or unprompted, something of the sort, right?
Yes.
Now, when we look at it, initial application, sustained application, decision, energy, zest, desire.
Yes.
Right? Those are the 6, right? Now, forget about this consciousness, right? You tell me, right? Out of these 6, right? What could potentially have a connection with that action, right? Now, initial application.
Yes.
Yes. Sustained application.
Yes.
Yes. Decision.
And yes. Decision to do that.
Because there's an object of hate. There is a decision that you're hating this person or you want to do something to this person, right? Energy.
Energy should be there. When you're so adamant to
energy,
hate.
you need an amount of energy for hate. Zest.
No.
Right.
There is no zest.
Why is there no zest?
Because this is nothing that's going to make you happy if you're having fatigue. It's hate oriented.
This is not something which is going to bring you any sort of joy, right? This consciousness is all about burning. This consciousness is all about destruction, right? There is no. Then desire, right?
Yes.
The desire there.
Yes.
Yes, right? Desire is there. So when you look at the occasionals, when you look at those 6, you should now be able to then say, okay, because it is dosa, the only thing which cannot arise here is zest.
Yes.
Right? Because why? Joy and dosa or hatred does not ever arise together. Right? This was, I think, on the first day of studying consciousnesses, we studied that, didn't we? right? All right, moving on. Now the unwholesome factors, which are 14, right? Now,
Yes.
of the unwholesome factors, the first section is?
Delusion.
No, unwholesome universals.
Yes, it's
Right.
because we are talking about Patiga.
Yeah.
There are 4 of them.
Okay.
So there's delusion, shamelessness, fearlessness of wrong, and restlessness.
Good.
So,
right. We have all of those together with us.
Yes.
Good. And then moving on, right?
Yes.
Now, the unwholesome occasionals, right? The unwholesome occasion. Now, of these, right? Of these, what can we have? What can't we have?
You will there'll be the wrong view will be there.
Do you think so?
No greed to do a thing. So no, there won't be wrong view.
Why not? Isn't being angry at someone wrong view?
No, you're doing a bad thing. Yes, you must have a wrong view to kill somebody with putting the you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then you have to have hatred, those.
Okay.
But I don't think a conceit will be there.
You don't think conceit will be there. Why?
Because conceit, mana, that is like, are you going
for example, if you dislike a person because that person has put you down in a certain way, it has prompted the hate or something like that. Or
yes.
you are not willing to let go of your hate because of the conceit that you have for yourself, right? I mean, why can't conceit be there?
I was interpreting conceit, mana, as, you're becoming so excited, and, that is going to make you proud or something. Mana.
Yeah, that is part of mana, for sure.
Yes.
Right. So why is wrong view and conceit? So greed, it's a no-brainer. We know greed is not there, right? So wrong view and conceit. Why are wrong view and conceit not there? Specifically, wrong view, something as wrong view. Why do you think the reason? Anyone?
Because they occur in together with greed, wrong view, and conceit come
that
together.
Is true, but is not in relation to just because. Now we can't say, okay, just because it arises in the greed, we can't say it doesn't arise in the dosa. Now, what about the occasions which arise with both the greed and the dosa? Right? There is a reason, right? What would that reason be? Anyone else? Comparing.
Not comparing.
Greed and dosa. Because you will not have any greed if you're hating somebody.
That is a no-brainer. Greed is not there.
Not there.
We are only concerned at the moment with wrong view and conceit.
Wrong view has to be there, I said, because it's he has a wrong view, because that's why he's trying to kill this person. Because of hatred. When hatred comes, you can't have a right view if you're hating somebody and trying to harm somebody.
So we are specifically talking about, okay, yes, that makes sense. But let us try to fine-tune our attention to the fact that this consciousness is speaking about the present moment of when the mind is now furious with an object. Right? Let us think about that position.
Yeah, then you can't have a wrong, you won't think about.
Why?
This, because your hatred is so much and your mind is set on this particular, like a strong this is, you won't think about
Even in
that this is the
CBT,
wrong one.
even in CBT, I have read that when the mind is filled with hate, in that disposition, the mind shuts down, or rather does not take logic into its reasoning, right? So it is only the parts of the brain which are necessary for the functioning of an emotion or the processing of an emotion such as hate, which are active. All the logic centers of the brain sort of become rather inactive at the time, right? So likewise, remember now, dosa, we are talking about a moment when a man is furious, a person is furious with an object. During this time, there is no sort of determination, or rather pondering, which is going on, right? This is a moment when the object rather takes, or the emotion towards the object is first priority, and that is the main thing which is rolling in your mind, right? Which is the main thing which is rolling in your mind. Now, when we take an emotion, for example, we will study this later on, but when we take, for example, the process of Panchadvara vajana, right? Where the brain sort of determines whether how is this consciousness going to be processed, or not consciousness, how is this object going to be processed? Is it going to be processed by means of yoniso manasikara or ayoniso manasikara, right? So that is a process which happens before, right? Due to whatever conditioning that you have, or rather manners, or whatever it is that you have, the data that you know, it will make the decision. But during the moment of the act, when this consciousness is at full bloom, what happens is there is no logic or anything there. That is why wrong view does not arise in this consciousness, right? Wrong view does not arise in this consciousness. What about conceit? Why does conceit not arise? Any idea, anyone?
Bhante, the reason for that can also be explained because this hate comes with the viciousness of your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And for that, you have in Abhidhamma, they explain actually 9 proximity cases. That's actually related to somebody's hurting you, or somebody's you are dissatisfied with somebody, and you are dissatisfied with somebody helping your enemy and things like that, because it's an intrinsic characteristic of your mind. Yeah.
Yes.
And because of that, actually, conceit will not come into that, or even the
no problem. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, or even the hatred, right? Even the item we were talking about previously, it's the same thing. Wrong view.
Yeah.
Because wrong view can't come into your mind because it's some external effect, right?
The conditioning specifically, if we talk about conceit.
Yeah.
Right? Now we know this conceit, this bond of conceit, is regarding or comes into play when the attachment is rolling on towards the 5 aggregates.
Okay.
Right? With regards to those, what happens is there is no attachment based to any sort of view or yourself. Rather, it is repulsion which is working in your mind. The right word to use is patiga.
Yes.
Right? That patiga is all about sort of chasing or pushing things away or getting rid of things.
Yeah. It's actually somewhere I read actually the the function or the rasa is itself is for hatred is a repulsion.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right. So that explains your
Yes.
explanation. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So moving on, right? Now, Devika, moving on, what about the rest? Right? Now we have sorted out greed, wrong view, and conceit do not arise. Right? And then we come on to hatred, envy, avarice, and worry.
They go together.
They are called the
They are,
Dhatuka.
yes. So they are all happen.
They all must arise.
Arise.
Right? Right? This all of
When
that
it's
must
hate.
arise. Right? And then we have sloth and torpor.
That doesn't arise.
That doesn't arise at first. Why? Because this is a
Unprompted.
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 Right. Wonderful. Right. Moving on. Pushpa. Right, Pushpa.
Yes,
So can you do the second dosa consciousness for us, please?
Second dosa consciousness is in the sense sphere unwholesome, hatred consciousness, and is associated with displeasure, aversion, and it is prompted.
It is prompted. So what are the mental factors which would arise with this consciousness?
The 7 universals.
All right. What are you looking at? Page number 79.
Yeah. Page 79. Yeah, I'm in page 79.
All right, Pushpa. Now, page number 79, the 7 universals are, right?
Yeah.
That's all you need to look at, Pushpa, right?
Okay.
Are all there,
Yeah.
right? So, 7. Occasionals.
Initial application, sustained application, decision, energy, zest and desire may not be there.
Zest and desire might not be there.
Yeah, what?
No, Pushpa, grab that book again.
Right.
Yeah. No,
Zest,
Pushpa.
yeah.
You only look at that book. Okay. You know, so just look at the 6 there, right? Now, there should be some sort of attachment to that emotion which would give you the energy that you require in order to focus on whatever object to exude your hatred.
Yeah.
Right? So then in that one sentence, what I actually mentioned is desire is there, energy should be there, initial application is there, sustained application is there. Right? You make a decision with regards to that you are going to, or you want to, or you cling on to that action of you do not like this thing, right? The only thing that will not arise there is zest, right? The only thing that does not, so Pushpa, this is not taktik tukka, right?
Yeah.
There is a reason, and the only thing is what you are required to know is the aspect of the consciousness. Right? What is the consciousness about? That is basically it, right? So Pushpa, you tell me why zest does not arise then?
Because the person is very angry at this moment because of the hatred.
Because of the hatred. So what about the hatred?
There is no joy.
Correct. Correct, Pushpa. There is no joy and joy cannot arise. We learned that greed, the root of greed and the root of hate never mixes together, didn't we? Right? So that is basically, if you just say that, hatred and greed or hatred and joy doesn't ever mix together, right? So then we have how many occasionals, Pushpa?
6. Here we have 5.
5, correct. Now, Pushpa, do you still have that book?
Yes.
Okay. Page number 79, yeah?
Yes.
Good. Then, unwholesome factors, there are 14. You see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Of that, the first is the unwholesome universals, which are 4. How many of that is in this consciousness, Pushpa?
The 4.
4. Right. Why? There's nothing to think about it. If you see universal, you put it in, okay?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. But if you see beautiful before the universal, you do not put that in. All right. If you see with anything with regards to unwholesome universals, you put it in. Right. Good. So then we have 4 there. Right. And then moving on to the unwholesome occasionals, which are how many?
10.
10. Good. So then the first section. So greed, wrong view, and conceit. Do we have them?
There is no greed, no wrong view, because they don't think logically at that time when they're angry. No conceit.
Correct. No conceit. Good. And then we go on to hatred, envy, avarice, worry.
There is hatred, envy, avarice.
And worry. All right. So we have the dosa chatuka in. All right. Then we have sloth and torpor.
No sloth and torpor.
Now,
because
okay. Let's remind ourselves. No one else, please. Now let's remind ourselves what the name of the consciousness is.
Hatred,
asankarika, which means unprompted.
Yeah.
Right? Which means sasankarika, right? Which means prompted. So if it is prompted, what does prompted mean, Pushpa?
Because somebody has to encourage or
pushed you towards the action, or you're doing the action after contemplating it, or rather being pushed by yourself or motivated or aggravated by yourself, right?
Then there is sloth and torpor.
Then there is sloth and torpor. Why?
Because the person doesn't think somebody prompts.
Because you must push.
Yeah.
Because that mind was a mind that you had to push.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Right? That push happens because of the existence of sloth and torpor. Do you get it?
Yes.
Good. Then doubt. Do we have doubt?
No doubt.
No doubt. Okay. No doubt. So then we have sloth and torpor, right? Now can we calculate that? So it's 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2. Right? How much is that? That's 22. Right? So we have 22 mental factors that are associated with the second hatred-rooted consciousness. Got it, Pushpa?
Yeah.
All right. Pushpa, now I'm telling all of you, right? I know that all of you are very, very smart, right? That is the reason that you're finding it a bit difficult, right? So don't be smart, right? And just look at this Chaitasika chart. This is actually all you need, right? And in your spare time, you do your reading and you make your charts, right? You make your chart. Because you know, like you, I also tried to cheat when I was learning this, and that was the only reason that I wasn't learning it as quick as I could have learned it, right? Because you actually have to like put it into your mind and sort of play it, that storyline in your mind, and then you get it, right? It is not that difficult, right? So don't be smart, in the wrong way. Just look at the page number 79 and know the consciousness. That's all we need, right? Moving on. Now we have the rooted in delusion, right? Rooted in delusion. So, Padma, can we do this?
Yeah, well, it has
Let's start with the name of the consciousness, Padma.
it's delusion-based, unwholesome, number 11.
Yeah.
Consciousness, which has equanimity and doubt.
Yeah.
So that will have the 1 to 7 universals.
Correct.
Then it will have Vitaka and Vichara, which is 8 and 9.
Okay.
And there may not be any decision because there's doubt.
Correct. Now, to remind, now this is a consciousness specifically about what is the word, Padma? What is the base of this consciousness?
Moha based or delusion based.
Vicikiccha.
Okay.
Right? This is vicikiccha, right? Doubt, right? This is a state of doubt, right? So that is why we do not have determination here.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? All right. So then we have initial application, sustained application, doubt is not there, effort.
Not there. Then there's energy, because you have to, there's energy involved, but there is no liking of it. There's no like, so there's no zest or desire.
Yeah. Why do you think there is no zest or desire?
Because it's a very doubt-based, there's really no decisions being made, there's no joy in it.
Correct. Correct. That is the reason why it is so, right? Remember, this consciousness is deemed to be, by the Buddha, to be one of the most dangerous consciousnesses that can potentially arise in any person's mind.
Okay.
Right? This is the consciousness that relates a person to become niyata michcha dittika.
Okay.
Right? And because there is energy in this consciousness, the more that you allow this consciousness to fester in your mind, the deeper you dig yourself into a hole.
Okay.
Right? That's just FYI for your information. Moving on. Right?
Then, of course, we come to the unwholesome, because it's unwholesome consciousness.
Yeah.
There are 4 unwholesome universals, 14 to 17, which will be there.
Yeah.
Then we come to the unwholesome occasionals. There's no greed.
Correct.
There's a lot of restless, there's doubts. So there's no, I think there's no wrong view and conceit too.
Why are you having doubts regarding that point?
I'm trying to think, why is there no wrong view? Why did I say there's no wrong view? Because I think there's no thinking behind it. I think it's a very doubt.
It is Padma. It is a state of limbo.
Limbo, right? Okay.
You know, so there is no decision made. So even for there to be wrong view, there must be some sort of decision, no?
Decision, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That is why we don't have wrong view or conceit.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, of course, it's not hatred based, so you won't get hatred, envy, avarice, and worry.
Yeah.
And there's no prompting, so there's no sloth and torpor.
Correct.
But there is doubt, which is number 27.
There is doubt. Now, this is the consciousness which leads, the only consciousness actually which has doubt.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So, do we know the total amount of mental factors in this consciousness?
7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. 15. Correct. Thank you, Padma. Lettuce.
Yes, Bhante.
Lettuce. Shall we do the second delusion consciousness?
The second consciousness is consciousness accompanied by equanimity and uddacha,
restlessness. All right.
With restlessness, yes.
Correct. Restlessness. Okay. So then, in this consciousness, what are the mental factors that can arise in this consciousness?
The universals, 1 to 7.
Okay, universals. So there is 7 there. Occasionals.
And from the occasionals, vitakka, vichara, and decision will be missing.
Why do you think so?
Because of the restlessness, distraction, and the.
Okay. Now this restlessness, lettuce, right? It does have decision. The fact is that this decision changes quite too often, right? Ever had that moment where you sometimes get up from your chair and you're like, why did I get up? And then you sit back down, you know, sometimes you think, okay, maybe it's time for me to eat. And then you go to the kitchen and then you think, no, I'm not hungry. Yeah, it is something like that, right? Where you do have decision, but that decision does not stick out too long.
Yes.
Do you get it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So then we have, sorry?
Then the zest and desire are missing.
Zest and desire are missing, right? Zest, why is it missing?
Because of equanimity. So, because this is upekka sahagata, so the zest would be not there.
Okay. Correct. If we go a little bit more deeper, the zest does not arise, yes, of course, because the equanimity, also because the object which is being taken is not taken in a way that there is a sort of passion towards it, if I might say, use that word, right? So that is why you don't know why you got up. That is why you have, you are not sure that you really want to eat. You get it? Yeah? Then, moving on, we do not have joy or wish. So altogether we only have 4. We only have 4 occasionals, right? What about the rest?
Yes. Then the 14 to 17 universals.
The universals are 4.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So we have the 4 universals with us, and then we go on to the unwholesome occasionals. So out of the 10, what do we have here? Okay, lettuce, you tell me what can't be here. Right? Just look at page number 79. Right? Just look at page number 79. Right? What about greed?
No.
Right. Greed, no. Then what do we have? Wrong view.
No.
Okay. Conceit.
No, he's not thinking about mana at the time. So.
Okay. And then we have the hatred.
No, this is to do with delusion. So
all right.
The hatred won't be there.
Sloth.
No, it's not prompted either. So.
Pauper.
No, and then this is restlessness, to do with restlessness. So he's so active and constantly on the go. So
doubt. Do we have doubt?
No.
All right. Then how many consciousnesses do we have altogether?
I think it's 15.
It is 15. Right? It is 15. Right? So we have 15, thank you, Lettuce. We have 15 mental factors which arise with this consciousness, right? Moving on to the 5 pairs, so the Panchadvara Avachana, right? So let us go to the Panchadvara Avarjana, right? The 5 sense door. I'm sorry, the 5 senses, the consciousness of the 5 senses, right? Now, in the
Bhante, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Why it's considered the restlessness as this previous consciousness as very weak consciousness? Because that will not give rise to patisandhi, right?
The reason that these consciousnesses are now, remember now, this is the ultimate underdog consciousnesses.
Okay.
Right? They work under the table.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
They are the slimy of the slimy, the cream of the cream. Right?
Yeah.
So these two consciousnesses, their work is completely sort of under the table, but in the way that they root themselves out, right? Because it is moha connected to greed and hatred, right? They are quite efficient as well.
Okay.
Right? So whilst these consciousnesses, like I said, with regards to the first moha consciousness, it is a consciousness that can get us all into a lot of trouble, right? It can get us all into a lot of trouble. Now, for example, if we have problems trusting people, right? It is actually vichikiccha, right? A byproduct of moha, which actually puts us into that situation. Right? If we are intrinsic, so the more that we sort of do things which are greed and hatred rooted, the more actually moha also develops. Right? So moha is a consciousness that works more vicariously through the other wholesome factors. Right? That is why, although the consciousness itself is quite weak. Now, for example, you take the delusion consciousness, the second one, it's a state of restlessness. You can't come into a proper decision as to what to do. Right? Now, we all experience this when we have a personal family issue or something of the sort. Now, if our friends were going through similar circumstances, we have a lot to say and a lot of advice to give, right? But when we are the people who are experiencing it, right, we don't know what to do, right? That is again a state of that restlessness, right? But that restlessness is working with those or greed that we find that coming into a state of what we do experience ourselves.
Okay.
Right? That is why.
Okay.
Right? All right. Moving on to the 5 pairs of the sense consciousnesses. Right? Now, Anoma.
Yes, Bhante.
Shall we do this?
Yes.
Right. So the 5, so we are relating to both the consciousnesses of Chakkusota Gahana Jivha Kaya in Kusala Ahetuka and Akusala Ahetuka.
Yes.
Right? We're doing it all together.
Okay.
Right?
And
so then, please let's look at,
they're associated with equanimity.
Okay.
Yeah. And first one is I conscious. And all full. Yeah.
Let's do all.
1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Universal, all 7 applies.
All right.
To all that. And then occasional 6. There are 6, but initial application has to be there, yes. That is vitakka. Sustained application. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you have to have. And also decision.
Anuma.
Yes, decision. Yes, Bhante.
We have to, can you give me a description of what these 10 consciousnesses are?
Yeah. Upekka Sagata Chakku Vinyana. Then Upekka Sagata Sota Vinyana. Upekka Sahagata Gana Vijnana, Chakusudana, Upekka Sahagata Jivha Vijnana, and then when it comes to body conscious, it's Dukkha Sahagata Kaya Vijnana, and yeah, that's it. And in the second set, it becomes Sukha Sahagata Kaya Vijnana.
All right. So what are these consciousnesses able to do? Or through these consciousnesses, what are you able to accomplish?
You don't have initial application, sustained application either.
No,
because
okay.
you just
Let's because I think this part is something that a lot of people find a bit confusing. So let's just recap to sort of go into what we are able to accomplish through this. So we are to forget about the mental factors, right? Let's focus on the consciousness, right? What are we able to do with this type of consciousness?
Just see, or here.
Just operate the
eye,
ear,
nose, tongue.
So the operation of the physical attribute is the only thing that can be done through this consciousness.
Yes, Bhante. Yeah.
Right? Imagine it to be something like the wire connecting the eyes to the rest of the body. Imagine, that's not true. Imagine it being something of that sort. Without this consciousness, right? Without this consciousness, the objects cannot arise within the retina.
Yeah.
Right? It is this which sort of, imagine it to be like the battery to the eyes. Without this, it doesn't work.
Yes, Bhante. Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Now let's visit. Is anyone clear? Does anyone not understand that point? Right? All right. So then let's look at page number 79.
Yeah.
Right. So then, can there be initial application?
No.
No. Sustained?
No.
Decision?
No.
Is it energy?
Energy? No.
Zest?
No.
Desire?
No.
Delusion?
No.
Shamelessness?
Nothing.
Nothing. Only basically the universals are there. Right?
Yes.
Let's look at the universals. Right? Let's look at the universals. Contact. Right? The contact of the object brought through whatever medium, right? Between the physical object. That contact is there. Right? Here we are talking about specifically the impingement upon the consciousness. That is there. The feeling, right? Perception, volition, one-pointedness, life faculty, attention. Remember that these 7 universals with regards to this 10, right, operate at a very low level compared to the other consciousnesses that we have already done. Right? So don't think that it is the same aggression and the same power. It is not. Right? It is different. Got it?
Yeah. But excuse me, is it because it is resultant that is, you said, is low?
It is a resultant. It is a resultant. That is one reason why it is low, right? Also because of the simple task that it fulfills.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. This consciousness is not supposed to, or it does not do anything heavy duty. Rather, the only thing it does is help in the process of the 5 sensory bases operating.
Yeah.
Right? Good. Now, moving on. Thank you, Anuma. So we have 10 mental factors which arise in that consciousness. Now we go on to the receiving. Chamari.
Yes, Bhante.
Receiving. So
there are 2.
First, we start with the universals.
Yeah. So the universals will be there. All of them. Receiving, I have a feeling, would have the initial application.
All right.
And the sustained application.
All right. And
that's it.
Right. We have determination in this consciousness as well. Right? We have determination. Can someone tell me why we have determination in this consciousness? Chamri, do you have a clue?
Is it because it's taking something in? So the impingement happens, and then there is one step more that happens in the...
Exactly. That is the reason that it is. The decision or determination is there. Okay. Right? The determination, now remember to go back to the explanations with regards to each and every Chetasika. Right? That is important, because sometimes you might feel that, okay, determination, okay, we might take it in a context that does not apply. But when we go to the root of what the essence of this consciousness is, right, then we do understand that determination, that it's a varied sort of understanding of determination, and also the nature of determination, which helps sort of the yoking of the mental factors onto the object. Right? So yes, so then altogether there we have 10 mental factors which arise together with this consciousness. Do we have any questions? Good. Moving on. Thank you, Chamari.
Thank you.
Investigating consciousness, Hemamali. Hemamali. All right. Until Hemamali. Oh, Hemamali, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So we are doing the investigating consciousness with indifference.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. So that is 19 Upekka Sahagata Santirana.
Yes.
And Upekka Sahagata Santirana again in Vipaka.
Okay.
Yeah. So now in factors, all universal 7 are there. Then occasionals, initial application should be there. Then sustained application there, decision there.
All right. So how many altogether?
Altogether 7 plus 3, 10.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Hemamali. Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Then we do the investigating with happiness. The Sukhasaga, the Samantha.
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, Samantha.
Yeah. So investigating with we're doing the wholesome result. Is that the one?
Yes, the wholesome result.
The wholesome resultant. So we've got the feeling of equanimity, and so you'll have all the senses, the 5 senses. Yeah. So then, in which case, you'll have all the 7 universals.
Okay.
So you'll have so they're rootless. So they're vipaka, sort of resultant. So they're quite weak. So you're not investigating, or you're not receiving an object, so you can't do anything. So they're just resultants. So that's all you can do, really. You just
You
take
have
it from
universals. What else do we have?
So there's no impingement, so you can't have any occasionals, and they can't be
no impingement. Isn't there a process which is now, if we might put it in this way, just imagine taking the object from wherever it is to somewhere else, right? There is a sort of transference which happens here.
You mean adverting the object, is it? Or no, receiving the object. Sorry, which one? We are doing the whole.
We are doing the investigating with happiness.
Oh, sorry. Yes. At the bottom of the wholesome resultants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, yes. So we'll have that. Then we'll have all the there is initial. Yes, in that case, there is all the occasionals, initial. So, because you're taking the object, and then you're investigating the object. And then you'll have your sort of so there will be decision making and the
Okay, so then we have initial application, sustenance application.
Yes, yeah.
Termination.
Determination, yes, because you're doing something with it
together, right?
Yeah.
That works it together, right?
Yeah.
Do we have effort?
Because it's a resultant.
Yes, correct.
It's a weak,
it does not.
No.
Then do we have joy?
Joy, investigating. Yes, it's the feeling of joy, isn't it?
Correct.
That arises.
Do we have wish?
So we'll have joy.
Do we have wish?
Sorry, which one? Wish?
Do we have wish or desire?
Oh, desire. Resultant with desire. Oh, now that's a tricky one. Desire. I would think no. Desire.
Correct. There is no desire.
Yeah.
So there are 11 consciousnesses altogether that arise with this. 11 mental factors altogether that arise with this consciousness. All right?
Yes, correct, Bhante.
Yeah? All right. So moving on, 5 do adverting consciousness, Mihiri.
Yes, Bhante.
Yes. So 5 do adverting consciousness, Mihiri.
Yes. So there'll be all the universals.
Correct.
And then there'll be initial application, sustained application, and decision.
Correct. Anything else?
No.
Correct. Thank you, Miri. Right? So we have 10 there again, right? Then we have the smile-producing consciousness, right? The smile-producing consciousness. Who will do the smile-producing? Lakshman?
Yes, Bhante.
Yes. Smile-producing consciousness, Lakshman.
Is that the one after the mind-o? Is that the one after the mind-o consciousness?
Yes, actually, Panchadvara, after the 5 do adverting.
Right, yes.
Mind-o.
Yeah.
No, after the mind-o.
Okay.
But we didn't do mind-o.
Yeah, we didn't do
mind-o.
Yes,
We
yes.
didn't do mind-o.
All right.
So, Bhante, do you want me to do mind-o or the smile one?
Let's do the mind-o. I'm sorry, we've skipped one. Yes, let's do the mind-o.
So, mind-o consciousness, you will have the universals, that is 1 to 7, contact, feeling, perception, volition, one-pointedness, life faculty, and attention. You will have all 7.
Yeah.
And then occasionals, you will have initial application, sustained application, decision, and also I think energy as well. because it's in your mind and you need energy to process it.
Yeah.
And I don't think you will have zest or desire.
Right. So we have 4 there. So then it will be 11. Right. There will be 11. The energy is there. Remember, the name of the consciousness is Mindo Adverting.
Yeah.
Right. So in the Mindo Adverting, there is sort of a movement of attention. Right. There is sort of like the Panchadvara Avajna, or the 5 sense to adverting consciousness, where there is a shift of the mind towards whatever sensory base, right? So likewise, that is why there is effort in this consciousness. Thank you, Lakshman. Moving on to smile producing, right? Noeline.
Seven universal
Yes,
factors.
All right. So we have smile producing. So it's 7.
Yeah, and initial application. Sustained application. Decision. Yeah, we need effort here.
Effort. Why?
It's
to smile, basically.
we need to smile. We need the effort. It's only for the arahants, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
This one.
So, anyways, we need effort there, and then joy.
Then zest and joy.
Joy is there. And what about desire, wish?
No desire or wish.
There is no desire there. So we only have 12 mental factors which arise in this category.
Yeah, 12 there.
Thank you very much, Noeline. All right. Now we have, right, the great wholesome. Now we are moving on to the great wholesome, right? We are moving on to the great wholesome consciousnesses, right? So the sobhana consciousnesses. So at this part, then we know we do not look, we look at the ethically variables, the universal and the occasionals, right? The 13 there. We do not at all look at the unwholesome, right? And we just look at the beautiful factors here on, right? Here on. So if you notice now with regards to the ahetuka consciousnesses, we did not look at the wholesome mental factors or the unwholesome mental factors, right? We did not. We basically just looked at the ethically variable factors. Right? Now, the great wholesome, Dil.
So these are the karma vachara kusala ones, isn't it?
The karma vachara kusala.
Yes. The magga ones, right? No, the sobhana factor, the 24 sobhana factors.
Yes.
That's what you're looking at?
The 24 sobhanas. Right. Can we maybe know, maybe know the name of the consciousness?
So it is kusala. The kusala. The kusala sobhana factors, eight factors, aren't it?
All right. So first, did you mention the name of the consciousness, Dil? So it is Somanasa Sadhaka.
Jnana Samprayukta.
Jnana Sampayukta. Asankharika. Right? Somanasagata Jnana Sampayutta Asankaraka. So Dil, please give us an example of what you could do with this type of consciousness, just to refreshen our memory.
So it's a joyful consciousness.
Okay.
And it's wholesome.
Okay.
And it is with knowledge, because it's a sampayutta, and without prompting, because it's such a beautiful consciousness. Wholesome.
All right. All right. So what kind of act would we be doing with this consciousness?
Kusala acts.
Kusala.
Alobha, dosa, amoha, not the ones which are rooted in greed, hatred, and evil.
All right. So then, what are the mental factors that we would have in this consciousness?
We would have the wholesome consciousness, and we will have the
first we go on to the ethically variable, right? So universals.
All of them will be there.
Correct. So we have 7 universals, right?
Yes.
Occasionals.
So we will have initial thought, we will have sustained thought, then we will have adhimokka, the determination. We should have virya, and because it's somanasagata, because having pleasure, we should have piti. We should have piti.
Yeah.
And we'll have a desire to do
we'll
good.
have desire, right? Is that clear to everyone? I mean, when you go to do a good thing, right, there must be energy, the need that you want to do. There must be desire. There must be something sort of happiness sort of coming into your mind with regards to this. Also remember that this is the first consciousness is prompted or unprompted.
It is unprompted.
Is unprompted. Is there knowledge or is it without knowledge?
With knowledge.
With knowledge. So if it is with knowledge and if it is unprompted, right, joy is surely there. Right? You know what you are going to do. Right? Good. So we have the 7 universals, the 6 occasionals. We are not looking at the unwholesome, moving on to the beautiful factors. Right? So the beautiful universals, 19 are all going to be
all there.
All there. Right? No question about it. It's all there. To just recap everyone's sort of, to bring everyone's attention to what the beautiful universals are. There are 19. Faith, mindfulness, shame, fear of wrong, non-greed, non-hatred, neutrality of mind, tranquility of mental body, tranquility of consciousness, lightness of mental body, lightness of consciousness, malleability of mental body, malleability of consciousness, wilderness of mental body, wilderness of consciousness, proficiency of mental body, proficiency of consciousness, rectitude of mental body, rectitude of consciousness. Right? Those are all there. Then we go on to abstinences.
All those 3 will be there. The 3 abstinences will also be there.
Yeah. So
those will be the Samma Vacha, Kammanta, and the Aji.
Yeah. All of that is there. I think that is quite clear, right? In doing a good thing, you do that good thing because of course, this understanding with which, because it's a good thing, the 3 abstinences are there. Illimitables.
The 2, passion, the karuna, and the mudita.
Right? Compassion and appreciative joy is there. Then wisdom
will be there.
Will be there. Altogether, we have 38 mental factors, right? Altogether, we have 38 mental factors, right? Now, moving on, right? Moving on, Mala.
Mala.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Mala.
The next one is Somnasthagata Jnana Vipayutta, Asankarika and Asankarika. And starting with ethically variable, the universals will be there.
Okay.
And occasional, as Bill said, all the occasionals are also there, just like the previous one.
Yeah.
And then beautiful, all 19 universals are there. Then coming to abstinences, Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanta, Samma Ajiva, all three should be there. Then Apramana, irritable, Karuna and Mudita have to be there. Then coming to the last one, wisdom, because this is Jnana Vipayutta, the wisdom factor is not there.
Correct. Wonderful. Thank you, Mala. So the wisdom factor is not there. Why? Because it is Jnana Vipayutta. Right? Because it is Jnana Vipayutta. Now moving on. Right? Now moving on to whom? We didn't get Damsiri to do one, did we? All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Damsiri.
Which one?
Right. Now we will have to hear, we will have to do those with Pekka. Right.
35-36.
Do Pekka.
Sorry. 35-36.
Okay. Okay, it's associated with Upekka, and it's with knowledge, and first one is unprompted. So when it comes to universals, it's all universals will be there from 1 to 7.
Correct.
And then initial, then occasional, the initial application, sustained application, decision, energy, zest will not be there because it's economous,
yes.
And the desire will be there.
Correct. So
okay.
7 plus 5 and
so then we have universal wholesome, all 14, 19.
Yes.
And then abstinences, yes, we have.
Yeah.
And then illimitables, yes.
Yes.
And then because this one is with knowledge,
yes.
The wisdom will be also there.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This is with wisdom. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wisdom is.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Damsri. Right. So altogether we have 37.
37. Yes.
What is missing from the 38?
It's the zest.
The zest is missing. Yeah. Right. The zest is not there because it is a upekka.
Yeah.
Moving on. Right. Moving on. Now it is upekka and that which is prompted. Right. Prompted.
Yeah.
Now, who would Anoma?
Okay, Bhante. It is Upekka Sagata. It is equanimity and associated with knowledge, and it's prompted. So all universal 7 there.
Yeah.
And yes, occasionals you have to have initial applications. Yeah, all that has to be. No, now it is no. Yeah, without zest, because it is equanimity.
Yeah.
So there's 12 is not there.
Yeah.
Then we are coming to the beautiful universals.
Yeah.
19. Yes, we are having that. And abstinences, yes, all 3: right speech, right action, and right livelihood. And also we have the other two, Karuna, Mudita, and this is associated with knowledge. Yeah, so you have the wisdom faculty as well.
Yeah, this one, yes, we had the wisdom faculty as well. If we did not have the wisdom faculty, if it was Jnana
that
Viputta,
is this. If it is Jnana Viputta, disassociated with knowledge.
correct. So
no
then,
wisdom.
Yeah. So then, now this is, now make a point of this, everyone, right? With knowledge, wisdom is there. Without knowledge, you take it out, right? Equanimous, no zest. Somanasa has zest, right? Now that is basically where the differentiation, so it glides from 38 to 37, right? All the way down to 36 if it is without knowledge, equanimous, right? Then it goes down to 36, right? So thank you, Anoma.
Thank you, Bhante.
Right? So then, we have done the Sobana, right? We have done the Sobana Kusala, right? Now moving on to the great resultant consciousnesses, right? The great resultant consciousnesses. Who can do that for us? Lakshmi.
Yes, Bhante, it will have all the ethically variables.
Can we name the consciousness first, Lakshman, again?
It's a consciousness accompanied by resultant consciousness accompanied by joy, associated with knowledge, unprompted.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So it has the 7 universals.
Okay.
1 to 7, and then occasionals. It will have initial application, sustained application, decision, energy. Because the resultant, I don't think it will have energy as such. No energy. Is that right?
No, it will have energy.
It will have energy, right?
It will have energy.
Right. And it will certainly have joy because that's what the description is. Then it will have desire as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will have the beautiful consciousness, all 19 of them.
Yes, universals. Yes, beautiful universals.
Universals, sorry.
All right.
Universals, all 19. Then abstinences, because a resultant,
yes,
it would not have right speech, right action, and right livelihood.
Yeah.
And also illimitables, also because it's a resultant, it will not have compassion and appreciative joy.
Yeah.
But it will have wisdom because it's with knowledge.
Correct. Thank you. Now, with regards to this consciousness, can we speak about why or how this energy arises in this consciousness?
Because it's Kamachara Vipakasita.
Kamachara Vipakasita. At what position does this Vipakasita arise?
At rebirth.
Some beautiful resultant consciousness. Any ideas? Damsiri, Padma?
At rebirth. Last time you said
Correct.
they were rebirth linking consciousnesses.
All right. So at rebirth.
Yeah.
So how is it that we have this energy in this? How is it that we have this determination in this? How is it that we have these factors in this state?
Well, I was reading about it. It said there's a link from this birth to the next birth. And one of these resultant rebirth linking one of the rebirth linking consciousness will arise at the time of rebirth. So it says it's like lighting one candle from another, and the one candle, the other candle has bit of the first candle, but not the whole candle, but something of that. But that is something new again. I mean, that's
now, remember, in the moment of Patisandhi, right, these consciousnesses arise as a way of bridging, right, in this birth, in the moment of birth, next birth, right, and during the Bhavanga.
Yes.
During the Bhavanga, right? So this consciousness, when it arises at the time of death to allow for the Patisandhi process to take place, right, to take place, then that is where it will have all of this. Do you get it? Right? Because if it was, for example, if it was like the Ahetuka consciousness, right, which was Vipaka, right, then it would have been different.
Yeah.
Right? It is different because it arises, this consciousness comes into play or to aid the Patisandhi process during those 3 times. Do you get it? Yeah?
Yeah.
So,
now what happens in Bhavanga? Bhavanga, does it carry on during the rebirth process? Or does it stop
in the rebirth process? No. So, of course, there is the Bhavanga process of, we are going to be discussing this in the future.
I know. Yeah,
but the Bhavanga process is sort of like, think of it as a foundation of sorts, foundation of consciousness of sorts, or rather not, no, that's a very bad way to put it.
Continuation?
Sorry?
Continuum.
Is continuation of Bhavanga, is it go from birth to birth?
Bhavanga, at this Bhavanga, think of it like the earth, right? We walk, we jump, we sit, we sleep on a bed, right? But every time that we need to get somewhere, we need to step on the earth and move, right? That earth, that foundation, in a way that it helps us to be, the Bhavanga is the consciousness, right? So in times of, for example, when we are sleeping, when we go into this Bhavanga and all of that, what happens is this Bhavanga steps in, right? Actually, I will be confusing all of you if I tell it now, right?
We'll do it later.
Let's wait. Next chapter. Is it next chapter? It is.
Yes. Bhante, can I ask something a little bit associated? So now the Chuta Chitta is at the moment of dying, right? And then it crosses over. So that's the moment of death. Then it crosses over Patisandhi, the bridging or the interlinking. So that can be several moments, isn't it? It's not just one moment.
It is the Chuti Chitta. So the Chuti Chitta takes the same object. Chuti Chitta is a part of the Bhavanga the Patisandhi process. Right? So it takes, or it has the same object. So it is several moments.
The Chuti Chitta is also several moments.
Several moments in the sense, there's a Chuti Chitta moment right before death, and then the Upacheda happens, which is the cutting off, and the reappearing, and that come by law of
Dhamma.
No,
not that.
Not that.
I'm talking about the
by law of I forgot the Patana law. Okay, sorry, that will come to me.
Continuation. Continuation.
What is a Pali word? Save. All right. So with regards to a certain law, when a consciousness dies, it doesn't completely die. It leaves the residue of energy. This residue of energy is a part of the next consciousness that arises. Right?
So that will be the Patisandhi Chitta, and then that will also can be several moments. So the Chuta Chitta there will be this.
It would be, so this is something which regards to Chitta Viti, which we will cover next chapter, right? There is no several moments there. It is one moment.
Bhante, it's the one chittaksana in this birth and the next chittaksana in the next birth.
In the next birth.
Yeah.
Every time that, for
So
example,
just one moment and one moment.
Yeah.
there are two more.
Yeah.
Right?
And
So and then every time that there is a change of the consciousness viti, there is a bhavanga which comes in, which takes the same object as the great resultant. If you are born a human, a deity, or anything up from there, right? If you are a person, if you are an animal, right? Then it would not be it would be a dvihetuka, right? Or ekahetukas actually don't survive much, right? Ekahetukas are very, very weak. The body is weak, usually dies at birth, right? Dvihetukas do survive, but with complications, but physical attributes are different or damaged or of a lower birth. Moving on, right? So that is a position that we experience all of these things, right? Or, I'm sorry, not all of these things. The great resultant consciousness, which we have now covered. Moving on to the second type, which is, what do we have to do now? We have to do those which are jnana vipayutta, right? Shall we do the jnana vipayutta? Now Lakshman did the one before. Pushpa.
Jnana vipayutta. These are functional.
Excuse me, Pushpa, just one moment. I think someone has a TV on. I don't mind, but the thing is, it will come onto the recording, right? So maybe you can mute your mic and then just unmute it when you're speaking, please. Thank you. Yes, Pushpa.
These are sphere functional consciousness with non-greed, hatred, and delusion, associated with joy and knowledge, unprompted.
All right. Pushpa, we are going to actually, I'm sorry, we are going to leave it there. It's 8:30, right? And we will continue next week.
Okay.
Right? So everyone, right? I mean, I have given you the links for the charts, all of that you have, right? When you're coming to the class, don't bring it, right? Leave it aside, only have your book. I will promise you that this will not go into your head if you're having all of these charts and all of these things around you during the class. You study as much as you want before, but during this time of question and answer, it is important that you do not have any of these charts with you, because I promise you, you will not learn, right? Because like you, of course, when I was learning also, I was of course having all of this, because of course trying to be the teacher's pet, right? So
you all want to be
but because this teacher has also done all the cheating, I will tell you not worth it. Okay, so leave all of that back and just have your book with you, especially for this section, right?
Okay.
This section is absolutely important, and it is absolutely important that we get this connection between the two, right? Get this connection between the two. Please don't think that this is in any way difficult. This is not difficult. It is only the fact of understanding the quality of what you could do with the consciousness and the qualities of the Chaitasika. Right, the qualities of the Chaitasika. I would of course recommend there in the Chaitasika chapter, there is a descriptions of the Chaitasika. Go in with a highlighter and highlight those sort of descriptions that they have, and only have that, and you're fine, right? And you're fine. So then, we will continue next week. We will continue.
Bhante, what page is that? Where you want us to highlight?
I'm not sure, but it is at the right from the beginning of the Chaitasikas. Basically, you have all the descriptions.
Yeah.
So how did you find Charlie's talk?
I was going to ask something about.
Ah,
Bhante,
yes.
I'm sorry,
can
hold.
I ask you a question?